In this video, we're going to be talking about Airbnb's new Aircover, the pros and the cons, and if it is really all it is that they say it's supposed to be. So stay tuned. Vacation Rental Machine helps hosts just like you learn how to start, grow, and scale your short-term rental business. This show is all about creating systems that help you automate your business, giving you more time and money freedom. If you're ready to start living the vacation rental life, then subscribe to this podcast today. Come and join us on our Facebook group, The Host Nation, where we'll be talking about starting, automating, and scaling a short-term rental business. Now, on to the show. Hey, welcome back, Host Nation, to another episode of Vacation Rental Machine. I'm Julian Sage with John Bell. And in this video, we are talking about Aircover. Airbnb just recently came out with an announcement where they came and said that they have a lot of new updates, as well as this new thing called Aircover. We're going to be breaking down in this video exactly what is Aircover. And if you want to check out the video talking about all the updates, then you can click on the next video, which should be next week's episode. So definitely subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, if you do enjoy all this Airbnb short-term rental related content. So John, what is Aircover exactly? Is it any different than what Airbnb was previously offering to hosts, which they called their host protection guarantee, where they said that it was up to $1 million of protection? Now this seems like almost like an insurance policy. So when you saw this, can you kind of break down what it is and how it is different?
All right. So you almost explained it right there. The Airbnb host guarantee was almost just kind of this blanket thing that covered the property in case of damage after a guest checked out. Now, Aircover, which is probably the host guarantee 2.0, adds in a bunch of coverage that a lot of people didn't really have. I mean, for instance, one of the first things off the bat is now they have also a $1 million liability insurance, which covers your guest in case they hurt themselves, which is something that is completely brand new. This is definitely starting to threaten some of the insurance companies that are out there that are actually covering Airbnb rentals, as well as some of the other bookings that you might get. So this is definitely a strong competitor against some of those products. And they have a lot more other than just that.
So John, a lot of people believed before, even with the host protection guarantee, that they maybe didn't necessarily have to get insurance because Airbnb was just going to cover up to $1 million, and they thought that that was fine enough. When they say that they're going to be covering, if a guest hurts themselves, should we really be trusting Airbnb's Aircover as almost like a insurance replacement? Should we still be getting insurance? What exactly does this mean?
Actually, you still should be getting insurance. Just because Airbnb has come out with this new aggressive insurance policy that covers them on their platform, it is limited, again, to their platform. So being limited to their platform, if you book anywhere else, you can't go and claim it under Aircover. So we're not trying to be fixated just on Airbnb itself. So with that, we need to still have some external coverages of covering our reservations. We just can't just stick with Airbnb. Now, if you're only on Airbnb and you think you're forever going to stay on Airbnb, this is okay. Now, of course, this is all new. Nobody knows exactly how claims will kind of happen, but they've kind of eased some things up. Some of the regular claims that I would put in would include some damages and maybe some deep cleaning after maybe somebody smoked. Well, they made it a little more easier for everybody to add in those extra cleaning fees, as well as damages from pets, and just being able to recoup after some of these smaller losses. Not necessarily something is broken in the home, but maybe extra cleaning or extra attention is needed.
One of my fears when I see something like this, when they start saying that they're going to be covering up to an X amount of dollars, we all know those Airbnb horror stories where, something happens at a property, something gets damaged. And now you try claiming against Airbnb saying, hey, this guest did XYZ, or maybe even on the guest side, a guest tries to, maybe claim against you saying that you didn't do something correctly, or maybe they slipped and fell. And now, thinking that there's this coverage that you don't need to get insurance, and come to find out when you try to put in a claim through Airbnb because a guest falls down and slips or whatever the reason, now you might be, at this point SOL, because you were depending on Airbnb to be able to protect you, and Airbnb might have all of these other stipulations and things that you have to jump in, because we all know, Airbnb can be a little bit funny when you do put in a claim. It just really depends on who you might be working with at that particular day for that resolution. So, I can only imagine how many potential issues might happen if someone tries to put in a claim for someone getting injured at their property, and Airbnb going through their resolution center for that. I really wouldn't feel easy knowing that that was my only line of defense.
Definitely. But to Airbnb's credit, they did alleviate one gotcha that was always kind of out to get me, at least personally, and some other professional hosts that had back-to-back reservations. With the host guarantee, if you didn't submit a claim before the next reservation started, you were SOL. You still had 14 days back then, but it was also kind of cut off before the next guest checks in. Now with Aircover, they removed that next guest checks in piece. So even your new guest can come in and say, hey, I sat on the chair and it just broke, or something happened and the TV has a line in it and I just checked in 5 minutes ago. You could still submit a claim against the older guest and still get everything resolved. So that is crucial. That is actually a big benefit. So, I think they're working on it. They're trying to be a little easier on the host as far as this piece goes. But again, until I submit a claim, until I try to get something through, I won't know this for sure. This all sounds good and is great on paper, but we'll see what happens when we submit a claim, and we'll definitely update you whenever that does.
All right. So obviously we had the 1 million of liability insurance, the 1 million of damage protection, pet damage protection, deep cleaning protection, as well as what they say is income loss protection. Now, income loss protection is familiar to us if we are working with the proper insurance that can cover you for that loss of income. So what does it mean when Airbnb says that they're going to be covering a loss of income?
All right. So there were some scenarios in which, let's just say your guest damaged the place and you had to cancel your next reservation or two. Airbnb is saying that they will actually allow you to still receive the revenue from those reservations because it was canceled because of a guest prior to you. So again, this is another win for Airbnb for allowing this to be covered, I guess, for everyone. This is something that we would have within our proper insurance policies, and it would cover all reservations for as long as we need it to. This one only covers the book reservations that get canceled, but it's still an advantage to the host in general. If you had a reservation and then you got to cancel one because of something, you still get the revenue from the next reservation, which helps you get back on your feet to start booking again. So another nice thing.
All right. And then they also said about the 14-day filing window, which is a really big deal, again, because if you were trying to put in for a resolution before and then a guest was going to be immediately checking in, that would make it difficult for you to be able to try to sort and organize all of that. Because if that next guest checked in and you didn't have that resolution and everything submitted, then Airbnb would not be covering you for those damages. So that was a real big pain, especially when you had those quick turnarounds. Quicker reimbursements. So Airbnb is also claiming that they will be resolving things. 9 days on average is what they say on their website. And then the last thing here is a faster track for Superhost. So John, what is a faster track for Superhost?
It's probably the same thing that they've always had, which is a dedicated Superhost support center. And this probably just follows that same track just to get somebody on the phone just a little bit quicker.
You can also see on the website here that Airbnb is really trying to stand out from amongst the other OTAs, online travel agencies, saying that, Airbnb covers all of these extra new things that is in Aircover, and saying that the competitors really only cover up to 1 million in liability insurance, and then that 14-day filing window. Now Airbnb says that they do all of that plus a whole lot more. And this is also something that you don't have to opt into. You paying your host service fee, automatically, that money, it's coming from somewhere that you are getting this extra coverage. And just to clarify about Aircover versus insurance, you can even see from their website, which we will include a link down below. But one of the questions that someone asked is, how does Aircover work with my personal insurance, like we were talking about before? And Airbnb, specifically says that while Aircover protects you while you're hosting stay or experience, it is not a substitute for your personal insurance. Since everyone's situation is different, you should talk to your insurer to see how and where this overlaps with your policy. So there might be some overlap there, but again, as a professional host, you always want to have the right insurance in place to be able to protect you. You don't want to have to, have your business dependent on, Airbnb. Let's say a guest lights some candles and now your whole house is on fire. That situation, Airbnb might not cover you, or they might only cover up to a certain amount, which is why you do need the right insurance there. So this is just a really nice added benefit. You can kind of look at this maybe Aircover as your kind of buffer, where before you would maybe involve your insurance provider, you could have your Aircover to protect you up to whichever your deductible is. Maybe it's 500, 1,000, 2,000, whatever your deductible is for your insurance provider. And then, everything after Aircover, you could just say that this is only for in case of emergencies. So question of the day, how do you feel about Aircover? Would love to be able to know in the comment section down below. And until next time, Host Nation, keep on hosting.
Hey, Host Nation, would you like to work directly with Julian and I to help you start and scale your own short-term rental business? Go to shorttermsage.com/coaching to attend our step-by-step training and learn how we can work together. Looking forward to talking to you soon.
Hope you hosts found value in this episode. If you did, please go on over to iTunes and leave us a review, as that would greatly support the show. If you'd like to connect with John, the community, and I, then go on over to our Facebook group, The Host Nation. Talk to you hosts in the next episode. Keep on hosting.